Just on what you just said, with this shift in the viewership to digital and
Yes.
those new ways of consuming media, can you maybe tell us a bit more on how you've adapted to that trend across your different events and maybe not just with Tour de France?
Yes. Well, our events, the audience now is different than before. Of course, TV remains one of the main channels, especially for the events who have a live broadcast. But now the reply that we did is creating a different content adapted to different channels. So we worked with our broadcasters. So for instance, well, on all our events, when our broadcasters broadcast live on TV, they also broadcast live on their website. And then we try to think about what can be added to a digital feed. So either you use it as a second screen, and on digital you're going to have more statistics, more information, and so on. This is one way, and the other way is really developing new products, new contents, which are going to be more adapted to this new target. When we talk YouTube and digital channels, we gather hundreds of millions of views on all those ecosystems, but it's with different content. Either it's focused on sport, but it can be also focused on territories, on happenings. It extends the way we can talk about our events. And it's also, the nice thing, there is a complementarity between the TV and everything that can be done on digital. They don't go against each other, but it's a nice complementarity there that we're trying to push.
You mentioned at the start that A.S.O is mostly focusing on outdoor events, which are unticketed usually, outdoor and unseated. It's very different from maybe an indoor event that's ticketed, where you can capture maybe the attention. How do you work on that, and how creative do you have to be to engage and connect not only with the spectators but also with the viewers?
It's true that we organize mostly out-of-stadium events, and this is actually it's one of our differentiating points compared to other organizers. It's completely different. Of course, you have same recipes as organizing an event in an arena, but with still very different ways of making things. The key criteria first is the logistics of it, is where and how can you organize the event outside of the arena. So you have sports is always at the heart of your event. That is to say, I need to design a course for a race and so on. But then how can you logistically adapt to the constraints of an existing environment which is not made for your race, but you adapt it, and then based upon that logistical framework, you start to tell a story. For instance, the Dakar Rally, which goes through the Argentinian and Bolivian desert as this year's edition, we create a bivouac. So we create each night a city where all the competitors and the media, the press, the logistics, everyone lives in a city which we create every night in the middle of the desert, and which changes, whereas 3,000 people do live in a city which lives for only one day. We construct and deconstruct, and based on that, then we can create an event.
Besides this digital engagement, just in general, you're in charge of more than 60 A.S.O events and of the marketing plan for each of those. How do you approach this daunting task of differentiating each of the events?
As you said, the key point is differentiating. If sport events are like every market, a competitive market, and you need to have an event which stands out, which has a story which is different from the others, in order to be able to gain attention from spectators, from TV viewers, and also from all stakeholders like sponsors who want to invest in your event. So what we really try to do for each and every event is to create a very strong positioning, a story which is consistent, and which we can relate on all the entry points and the points of contact that we have with the various stakeholders. It really all comes down from the story that you want to tell, and it's not going to be the same event by event, and then it's also not going to be necessarily the same depending on the people you are talking to. And the interesting thing with that is that you can give a meaning to your events which can go sometimes beyond sports. If you take the example of Norway, we have created a race there which is the Arctic Race of Norway, a professional cycling race, 4 days, which takes place above the Arctic Circle, something quite unique. And here you have cycling, of course, which is very important, but there's a story beyond it, which is about the promotion of these incredible landscapes, as well as the pride of the northern Norwegians. It's 500,000 people who live up north in northern Norway out of 5 million Norwegians, and it's a way for them to showcase their regions, their landscape, and cycling is a means to this end of promoting Norway. So here the positioning is much more than a cycling race, actually.